right, this morning I got in this beat up Shun chef knife. You can see it's pretty oxidized, scratched up all over. It's got a damaged tip. It's actually bent slightly. So we're going to try to fix it up, make it look a lot better. It is not even sharp. I mean, I should not be able to put my thumb on a Shun. So looks like it's been in one of those drag through sharpeners. So we're going to fix this up, and I'm going to use the little tiny work sharp to do it instead of my larger equipment, just to show that it can be done on a work sharp. Now the first thing I'm going to do with it is use my bench grinder and my Scotch-Brite wheels to clean the metal up a little bit, polish it a little bit, make it look a little bit better before I sharpen it and before I fix that tip. So here we go on that. First of all, this has got some kind of schmudgy stuff on it, so I'm going to go clean it first with some soap and water, and then we'll come back and polish it. So I went and washed it with a little Dawn detergent and got some of the grease and grime off of it. And now we're going to buff it out with the Scotch-Brite wheel, but we'll speed that up. I got it all polished up a little bit with the Scotch-Brite pad, and it's got some problems. I mean, this blade is kind of hunkered down there through a drag-in sharpener, and it's got a little downward problem right there too. So I'm going to reprofile that whole blade using the work sharp, and I'm just going to take my time with it so I don't heat up that blade. And we're going to try to make that look better, and then we're going to sharpen it to 16 degrees per side. I'm going to rehydrate the handle with some mineral oil and some beeswax protectant from John Booz, and we'll make this look better for the client. A lot of work for a whole $8. Woohoo! All right, so I've got the work sharp out. I got all my belts up here. I got a 120 Cubitron. Then I'm going to go to a 200 Trizact, a 600 Trizact, and then I'm going to finish it up with a leather belt with a little rouge on there, a little polishing compound. So we got that. And what you guys are going to notice, if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, I use a foot control. So the work sharp is locked into place. So here's my two hands. Just turned it on and off. And so down below my feet, I have a foot pedal control, and I have it hooked up to the work sharp. I think it's a great addition to the work sharp. Ken Onion, my understanding is it doesn't work on the newer models for whatever reason. I don't have the newer models, but anyway, that's the way it is. So we're going to set the angle down a little bit. You see, I got it really low because I was sharpening something on there, another knife. So I'm going to change that angle to about 15 degrees. Sorry, my sinuses. Excuse me. It is cold down here in Texas, and I'm going to stop for just a second. Sorry about that. All right, so I've got it set up, ready to sharpen. So if you know anything about the work sharp, if I go parallel, my blade is parallel to the ground. This should be right at 15 degrees. And I want this knife around 16 degrees. So it's gonna work. So, but we've got to fix all this other stuff first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the work sharp around and use the platen on it. Okay? So we're going to work out the tip, this area and this area, using the 120 against the platen. And we're just going to take our time with it. We don't want to heat up this blade. So here we go. My tracking's a little off, so we're going to do some tracking. There we go. All right, so let's work out this area first. And I want y'all to look at that. See if I can get some light on it here. Can y'all see that? It's got a little hump right there. I want to fix that. Don't want to heat up that blade. If you look, I've already got it. So I'm going to run it down the whole blade now to the tip. I'm going to work that tip. Don't get aggressive. You don't want it to heat up the blade. There's no heat on that blade. If you can see, I've already straightened out some of that tip. Don't be scared. We're going to fix the angle here in a minute. A little bit more here on the tail. No heat. Got a little hump right there. A little bit more. I want to get that angle right there. That looks real good. That looks real good all the way across the blade. So now, I want it about a 20 degree, and I'm going to do edge leading and just run it along that edge. I'm going to sharpen edge trailing, but I want to put a fairly low edge angle on that fast, and the edge leading will do that. Just don't get in a hurry. And you'll be fine. That looks real good. Y'all think that looks good? I hope so. Maybe a little hump right there. I think the client will be happy. That looks good. So we're ready to turn it around, and I'm gonna stop again. Be right back. We got the blade looking good. Now it's time to sharpen it. So we're gonna start with our 120, and we're gonna sharpen until we get a burr. So I got a nice edge on it. We're getting an apex. That light is bothering me there. But sometimes it reflects too much. And I can't see the burr. It's getting there. You can see the edge. Look at that. So you can see the angle on there. Looking good. We're not there yet. And we are doing edge trailing, so we should see a burr fairly quickly. Some people say, why don't you use edge trailing? Or, I'm sorry, edge leading. I say, because I can't see the burr. I need to see the burr. I'm old. And it's just a matter of preference. Edge leading is fine if you're in a hurry. I'm not ever in a hurry. I can feel the burr. Go back over that way. Make sure I'm not heating that blade up. I got a burr on that side. I can feel the burr on that side. burr all the way across the blade. So now what I want to do is I want to go to my 200. Didn't like the way my tip looked on the other side, so I'm going to make sure I got a good tip on that. Oh yeah, wonderful. So I've got a really nice edge on it now with the 200. I'm going to go to the 6. Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna do another pass on the 600. Very good. Oh. My pedal slipped under the bench there. All right, we're going to go with the leather strop now. And this is where I'm really going to spend some time getting a nice edge on it. Now, before I go further, what I like to do is take a little piece of leather and kind of remove that burr. And I can feel the burr on there. And I can feel it getting slicker and slicker. See, now I feel nothing. There's just very little resistance across that blade. And this is just a little piece of leather. Oh yeah, that is nice and sharp. Nice and sharp. Okay, let's do some leather. Just a little rouge on there, a little polishing compound. And I'm just barely touching the leather. Oh man, wow. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get something to test it. All right, I always get people say, hey, why don't you test it on some paper? Because it ain't gonna freaking cut paper, people, but I'll do it for this video. You want it to cut food, that's what it's for. Anyway, it's razor sharp. I don't know why everybody has to worry about cutting paper with it. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, this knife is ready. So we're gonna do a couple other things to it. I'm gonna clean it up with some alcohol and kind of polish it a little bit, and then we're gonna work on the handle. So now, if you look at this handle, let's see if we can get some light on it here. This has been put in the dishwasher. And so it needs some hydration to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get the old-fashioned mineral oil. And I'm just going to put a little bead on it like that and rub it in. Don't be stingy with it. And this is way more than I do for most people. I usually don't have time to do this because of the number of knives and clipper blades and salon shears I do on a day-to-day basis, but I also don't have enough videos on YouTube, so I'm always trying to slow down and do a YouTube video that somebody might watch. We do get a little bit of money from our channel. Pays for abrasives. So anyway, we're going to come back here in a little while. I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to let this mineral oil sit on this handle for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back. All right, it's been a couple of hours since I put the oil on there, and now we're going to come back with this. This is Booze Block Board Cream, which is a moisturizer for wood surfaces. And what it is, if you'll look at it, it's beeswax and mineral oil. So the mineral oil soaks into the wood. The beeswax is going to sit on top of the wood and seal it up. The stuff's not cheap. You can get it on Amazon, but it works really good for any kind of wood you want to hydrate. So what we want to do is just kind of clean that off. And then I'm going to take this, take me a little bit of it, and I'm just going to rub it in the handles. A little bit goes a long ways, and don't cut yourself on it. I almost cut myself right there. All right, so we're going to come back in a little while. We're not going to wait a couple hours like we did with the oil there. Like I said, usually I don't have time for this stuff, but this guy's not coming picking up this knife until this evening. It's only 11 o'clock in the morning here. So he dropped it off a few hours ago, and I told him I would have it in the afternoon for him. So gave me an opportunity to do a YouTube video. So there we go. We're going to let that sit there for a second. And if you wanted to know what it was again, it is Booze, John Booze Company. They make all kinds of wood countertops and cutting boards. I have a couple of their cutting boards, and it's johnbooze.com. You can check it out. But I bought this on Amazon, and this stuff works really good on cutting boards, but it also works good on handles, wood handle knives. So we'll be back. All right, it's been sitting about 30 minutes, so we're just going to wipe it off. Fresh, clean towel. And just kind of gently wipe it off. And there we go. Look how pretty that is now. That beat up looking Shun knife, the tip is beautiful, it's sharp, it's ready to go back to the client. So I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel.